Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today I really want to talk about what to do on the days that are just hard, because sometimes we just get those days which are just really hard. They're really hard. And this is actually like my third time trying to record this video because I just couldn't get the words out today. So my name is Abby. I work with you guys on mindset mainly, how do we shift it from a negative to a positive and how that can impact our lives. So if you haven't seen me before, welcome. Please make sure that you like and subscribe, and please feel free to make any comments on any of my videos. I do always come back to them. So today I really want to talk about those tough days. Today particularly for me is a tough day. There's lots of different reasons why we have days that are harder for us to deal with. Sometimes it's because we're under a lot of stress. This time of year it's meant to be really joyful, but for a lot of us it can be just very, very stressful, with massive to-do lists of everything that we want to achieve, particularly if you have people relying on you. So I have young kids, so it's that pressure to make it a really magical experience, making sure that you give to your family and that we're there, and the pressures on socializing can be very intense as well. And that can all have an impact on us, and it can all have an impact on our ability to really cope with everything. And it just makes things difficult. And then throw in something like grief, which is something that my family's going through at the moment. We've lost someone very, very important to us. So throw in something like that into the mix, and it just becomes very hard. And I think the most important thing for all of us to remember is that sometimes life is just hard. And it doesn't mean that by struggling or by looking at everything you need to face of the day and just thinking, I just cannot deal with that today, that's not showing weakness. That's not a bad thing. It's just our way of coping with everything that's happening. And I think generally we just kind of have that belief within ourselves that if we aren't showing up 100% of the time for everyone around us, that we're not doing our best. And sometimes we are just not in the headspace to give it our best. And that can cause you to feel like you're a failure. And that just adds on to that stress and adds on to that pressure. And it's certainly something that I go through phases of feeling as well. I mean, I know I come across as quite confident, quite put together in these videos, and largely I am, but sometimes you are just spinning too many plates. There are just too many things on that to-do list. There is just too many things that require your attention that you just cannot physically give to it all. And the important thing when it comes to our mindset and the way that we approach these situations is actually to not put so much pressure on ourselves, because we are all human and we all struggle. And I know that particularly people who are deemed to be strong people, I'm someone who most people look at everything in my life, the situations that I've been in, and they go, wow, you're a strong, independent woman. And yes, I am. But that doesn't mean that you don't need support, and that doesn't mean that you don't need help, and that doesn't mean that you don't get days where it's really an effort to get out of bed. Days where you look at everything that you need to go and you're just like, nope, can't do it today. And that's fine. And I think when you are someone who is seen as being a strong and independent person, you kind of feel that you're letting people down if you're not able to show up 100% of the time. But actually, we need to shift away from that feeling of getting worried about what other people's opinions are of us and shift more into thinking about ourselves and how we think of ourselves. Because actually, the people in your life who call you strong, who say that you're independent, who go, oh, I could never deal with that, we just kind of think it's like lip service, really, that it doesn't really mean anything. And of course, if they went through it, they could deal with it too. But actually, the people that say that to you really do admire you for what you can do. And that doesn't mean that they don't expect you to fall down. And that doesn't mean that they don't expect you to reach out when you need to reach out. What they're saying to you is, if I was in that situation, I would not have handled it as well as you have. And I'm proud of you for being able to do that. But we hold those words back. And we hold that back and just go, oh, you're so strong. But we don't communicate the full backstory to that. And each person that you meet will have gone through their own challenges, their own trials, their own grief, their own days where they just physically cannot force themselves to get up and put a smile on their face, but they do because they have to, because we don't feel that we have a choice but to do that. And I think it's really important for us to recognize that when someone is saying, oh, you're so good, actually take it as a compliment, and take it that what they're meaning is that, you're just doing so well. But that's not that they're setting their bar too high for you. That's not that they're setting those expectations to somewhere that you can't meet, or that if you don't meet it, that you're letting them down. It just means that they are just praising you for being the strong person that you are, and for coping with situations that not everyone can cope with. And there's nothing wrong with that. People are trying to be supportive by saying that, and I know that it doesn't always feel like that, because I get people that come up to me and say that, and I get, on my worst days where I get up and I put a smile on my face and I carry on, but for that day, I just feel like I just can't. And inside, I'm like, I just got to get through today. And people are going, oh, well, you're just so good and you get all these things done. And I don't know how you balance everything and how you keep your life running. And the reality is that most of us do it because we don't feel like we have a choice. We do it because actually we think that if we weren't picking up that slack, who would pick up that slack? And that's because we get into a habit of not asking for help. And we get into that. It is a negative mindset, really. It really is very negative, because we are actually stopping ourselves from reaching out to people who would help us. If someone says that you're just doing so well, that doesn't mean that they're not going to help you, because all these people that you show up for in your life, that you help even though you've got nothing left in the tank, they will help you too. And it is absolutely okay to think, do you know what, actually today, what I need to do is I just need to focus on me. That's absolutely what I've done today. I've got a list as long as your arm of all these different things that I need to get done. Christmas is in like 21 days. My daughter breaks up from school next week. My son breaks up from nursery the week after. And there is just so much going on. I'm not ready for Christmas. I haven't bought up the presents. Normally by this time of this year, I'm wrapped. I'm cards already in the post and being delivered to people. And I only just got my trip. So I am not where I am usually. And normally my mindset is to make myself feel guilty about that, and is to make my own opinion of myself become so much bigger, because I put so much more pressure on myself to deliver, when actually the way that we should be thinking is everybody needs a break and everybody needs time to recharge. And actually that's not a negative thing. And this morning I looked at my to-do list, I put my phone on do not disturb, and I went and had a nap. Because actually what I needed is I just needed to sleep. I just needed to recharge. I needed to get more fuel in. I then felt so much better and managed to tick 4 things off my list over the rest of the day, because I recognised that actually it doesn't mean that I'm a failure because I needed to take a break. It doesn't mean that I'm no longer a strong person because I needed to take a break. What it means is that I recognised that actually what I needed to do was give myself that time, that place, that little break out, to be able to recharge my batteries, and then I could then tackle everything else, because then I was in a better mindset. I had a better view of the day of what I could achieve because I wasn't so run down. And that's really what all the mindset and all the shifting from negative to positive, focusing on self-care. That's what all of that is about. It's changing it to actually sometimes I need to just look after me so I can look after everyone else. And that does not mean that you're not strong. And that does not mean that you're failing anyone. It means that you are able to then give more to the people in your life that mean something to you. And that's really sort of what my message is today, that yes, some days are hard and some days you do need to take a break, but you are still strong. You are still deserving of everything of all the achievements, and you are still working towards your goals if you pause. So that's the message for today. I hope this helps. And as I said, please make sure that you like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.